Welcome back to Spill the Tea. I'm here with Joe Marston, founder of Soar With Us, the UK's premier e-commerce marketing agency. Absolutely brilliant. They work with elite brands, some of the best, all the brands that we are, I guess, aspire to and are inspired by. And we're going to get down to a really dirty tactical conversation about what Soar With Us and Harmby Media are doing right now today to generate profitable growth for their best clients. So their favorite clients. I'm going to be asking Joe for the stuff that isn't in the email list, isn't posted out like, what is the internal stuff that you don't release? Because it's so saucy. Can you give me something?
I think there's something.
Yeah, I've got a couple questions. I just want to practical, deliverable. Maybe we put together a little lead magnet after this that
something
people,
something
juicy that they can download. But yeah, just what's the source, man? What comes to mind?
I would say, well, thanks for having me again. It's been a minute.
It's been a minute. It's good to see you, bro.
I think we're in the same clothes as last time.
Whoa.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I think, I mean,
I'm taking my head off.
We do give a lot of stuff away that's like actually like real-time source. So, but I will give some stuff. Obviously, like I assume people who are watching this are aware of like the granular environment right now on Meta, CAC rising, difficulty with ads, some accounts tanking, Andromeda updates, all these things.
Yeah.
We kind of use this term called Soulmate theory.
Soulmate theory.
Yeah. And it's essentially that every single person has an ad just for them, in theory. And what's working right now, and this is where, leveraging AI massively, not producing AI slop ads, but leveraging AI in the research phase, which, we have tons of AI agents that are built.
What does this practically look like? Can we go through, how do I get a Soulmate ad for a customer?
Yeah, let's do it. So it all starts with obviously understanding your customer, which is data, which either a brand has a lot of this, which is the ideal situation.
What are the primary data sources?
Anything you've got, email list, previous customers, reviews. Those are like the basic. Hopefully you've got post-purchase surveys. You've got really with AI.
Purchase surveys, awesome. Yeah. Hopefully you're calling your customers and you've got Loom transcripts of real world conversations.
That's one of the craziest like edges that I think you can get as a brand owner now, which I keep saying to people and nobody actually does it, but
no one does it. Some of them do it, and the ones that do it, do they scale?
Yeah.
Call your bloody customers.
Have you seen, I don't know who it was. There's a SaaS company. It's like some crazy $1 billion, like HubSpot or Salesforce or something. The founder like answers like the pop-up chat queries. Yeah. Still, he put like an hour a week or something. He's in there and they're like,
best thing ever.
Yeah. And obviously like if the founder's messaging you with $1 billion company, like you're bought in. And then you've got 50K a month ecom founders that are like, oh, I'm too busy.
I'm too busy. I'm too automated. The drunk on Klaviyo automations, the whole thing. I've been saying this for years. There's documented proof of it. I did a podcast with one of my best clients who's 5x'd his business, calls every customer. I won't invest in a brand. You got a new brand? Call your first 1,000 customers, non-negotiable. If you're not willing to do that, I'm not the right partner for you. The most valuable information. It's rich, it's deep, it's dynamic. It just gives you so much different. They say things like, oh yeah, and I love your product because like last week at work, the chauvinistic dickhead in my boardroom made me cry and I ended up in the bathroom, but your makeup allowed me to redo and I could come back and reclaim my power as a woman. And you're like, oh my God, there's an angle.
Yeah, that's an angle that you never would have thought of.
You can't get that angle.
Impossible,
right?
There's an extra layer of sauce for that.
Yes.
You know the brand Breeze? Is it Breeze? The CBD?
Yeah.
Sorry,
Briz, yes, the drinks.
Briz, I don't know.
Shackleford's.
Yeah, Shaq's brand. The founder, God, I forgot his name. The other guy.
Yeah, the CBD guy.
Who runs it, like, mainly. Yeah. They did that, but then they recorded it as an ad. And on the ad, they were like, hey, Michelle, we just noticed that you'd bought, like, your 10th crate. We're actually just going to, like, send you this for free. and she was like going crazy, and that's like, then that ad became, and it's this loop of like doing that creates the ad, which creates more of these situations. So
super authentic. Absolutely. And if you get phone calls, call every damn customer. No one does it. You want an edge?
Yeah.
That's a good edge. Not only that, you end up selling people. And if you're too lazy to do it, fine. There are contract companies that'll do it for you for $3 a call. Get them to do it. They'll record it.
Are there any, like, side note, I actually literally this morning had like a shower thought because of my like sales knowledge and the stuff I'm working on with the sales teams. I was thinking there's like, you know, this like remote closer sales thing that's happening in the world, but for e-com brands. Like that'd be such a cool, like, I think that business would fly.
It would crush because as well, e-com brands are moving further and further into mid-ticket, into high-ticket because the CACs are so high, it's hard to sell a $60 thing. So you're selling $300 bundles.
Well, I'm in like a supplement brand owner mastermind in Dubai, and it's huge in telehealth stuff, and some of like the big players in supplements, they have like call center teams, and they're not like international labor. They're like, you know, shit hot, like 150K a year salary
consultants,
US like closer, like, you know, proper closer, been in the game for years, and they're ringing up someone who's bought like a 30-day subscription to something, and they're upselling them on like 2 years for 50% off.
Yes.
And they're like crushing it, like brands doing like multi 8 figures with that type of stuff.
That's game. That's epic game. That is brilliant. High, not low cost labor, high value salespeople that can drive the LTV through the roof.
Yeah.
You want to sell an ice bath or a sauna? You don't have an e-com only business. You've got this like client service thing. We're building my next brand. It's called Garden Monkey. I'm so excited about it. You know how you're talking about passions?
Yeah.
Like, I want my kids to garden because I want them off the screen. I want them outside. I want them learning patience. I want them to make 6 tomatoes. And then we want to do an upsell where you like bolt it onto your fence and you can sell the tomatoes. And we have a school community of mums. And so you're
really cool.
You're learning patience and entrepreneurship. And if this business never made $1, I'm building the brand that'll turn my kids into garden monkeys one day. Nice. Every family should have a garden monkey. That's It's cool, right?
Really cool.
I can't sell seeds, $2. I can't sell a shovel, $4. But I can sell townhouse gardening kit, bronze, silver, gold, $300, $800, $1,500. Perfect. Gardening consultant. How can we get your family gardening? Oh, you want them off the screens? Oh my God, darling, I totally understand. Right?
That's cool.
It's magic. And you said it before, the brands are too busy or they're too focused on automations. That day is gone. Like, get back to if we ignore the last 15 years of, I've got you on my podcast and I'm ranting at you. Sorry, I'm a bad host.
No, go for it.
This is my opportunity to be unhinged. But like, if you ignore the last 20 years of bloody e-commerce and online retail, it was all about the customer.
Yep.
You know, it was all about genuine interaction with the customer. We're back. Cheap Facebook ads are gone. We're back, guys.
Yep.
Genuinely interact with the customer. I want to add 2 other things. Calling your customers, expos. In-person retail, go to your retailers. Hey, can I set up a stall and come and talk to the customers in the store?
That's good.
Face-to-face juice, record it. They'll be your best ads. It'll give you the data to feed this like AI creative strategy thing, right?
Yeah, and making sure that what I think ruins a lot of that data collection is because we're so used to it, you know, a tick box, like a multi drop-down select option. You don't need that with AI now. You can have the most unhinged 10-paragraph response and AI can condense that into insights. Great. So you want like an open form. You want to ask them, like, in your own words, describe your experience buying from us, not like, was it good or bad? Because that doesn't give you anything. Yeah. So that's obviously, you can do that with the call transcripts. Do you want to know
another good one for research is survey run from a partnership ad, not your brand page, not giving away your product, but giving away an adjacent product that speaks to your highest value whale customer. You're going after dads, give away a Weber barbecue. They all want that. Big, juicy prize. Do the survey from that perspective, from an influencer or someone that they look at that looks like them. I'm running this survey on this thing. Gather that data. And then it's kind of like third-party agnostic, and that can be really juicy as well. They don't even have to be your customers because brands go, I'm starting out, I don't have the data. Yeah. It's not a roadblock.
That's cool.
We can get it.
That's a cool one. Yeah, I mean, just to go like back to that data collection point, we're doing stuff like that. We've built a lot of agents where we're scraping Reddit, we're scraping forums, we're scraping competitors' reviews. So like, you know, if you're a brand that doesn't have 10,000 reviews, but a brand in your industry or has the same potential demographic as you does, you can scrape their public reviews.
What are you building the agents on?
N8N usually.
N8N.
But now with Claude Code, we're building just a lot of stuff ourselves.
Wow. So any old founder, could that be in this lead magnety thing? Could we show people how to build those scrapers themselves?
We can probably, if anyone watches this and wants us to like show them it, we can probably run through it on like a call. Yeah. To brand owners.
We can't give that to everyone.
I don't know how we do it in a lead, like a Loom video.
A Loom video thing, or at least at the high level, that would be super cool. I mean, if they could get some airtime with you to go through, that'd be amazing. But I would love, personally, this founder would love to see that.
I can hook you up. That's been a game changer. And then it's how do we then turn that into granular level data? So like there's this whole thing of like an ICP, a customer profile, shouldn't just be like Simon from New Zealand. It should be like Simon who hates this, who likes this, who does that, his, you know, partner does this. It's like super, super granular. Yeah. Like the example you gave of the person who whatever bought the product because someone said she looked ugly or whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
no kids, corporate warrior in this region at this thing.
And then the ad calls that person out and you just make such a huge volume of those type of ads. Obviously in line with Andromeda's changes where you have different formats, different variations. That's when, you know, the Soulmate theory and the Soulmate strategy works because you have so many ads targeting so many of these specific people. That's what stands out in the feed. So
the critical piece of Soulmate theory and leveraging the Andromeda algorithm to deploy these precise ads that really connect with someone's emotional resonance and therefore convert in today's noisy market. It's not about AI to produce the ads out here at design and copywriting. It's about processing your data to find those edge case angles, those really unique conversation points.
Yeah, absolutely. Everything's data now. The edge is data.
The edge is data, and then your ability to process it. Brother, we are getting kicked out of this podcast studio. So I tell you what we're going to do. That's a good place. We're up to data. Let's go down to the cafe next door and we'll set up our little camera and we'll finish the rest of this pod with shitty audio. But
let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Right. See you. Okay, so recapping from my understanding, we are looking Soulmate theory is about pairing a specific user avatar, a really precise granular user avatar with their perfect ad. Yep. And stage one of achieving that is actually about the research project, which is about maximum data, which we've recapped. To me, where my brain jumps off to next is like, okay, I've got this data. What N8N automations, people, roles are actually processing that data into something that I suppose is used as the basis for copy. Like, could you take me through, I've got data somehow.
Yeah.
What am I doing next?
So once you have the data, you want to be warehousing it, storing it in the right place so you can access it and use it. A lot of people have data, they just don't know they have it. Like, they don't store, they don't have it warehoused. And the real edge that you get with data is when you're combining different data sets. So if you do this exercise for, 20, 30, 40 brands, then you start being able to draw conclusions from all of that data, not just on a per client basis. But for a specific brand case, once we do this in our onboarding period.
That's a good plug there. You know, for 40 brands, it's way better, but for you peasants.
Well, that's why working with us, you get the edge. But on a per brand basis, it's also important to do because then you're only using it for the specific customer, right?
Can I dig into something just before we go into that? Yeah, because my I'm gonna put this on just in case we that way we can talk close to it and then windshield activate. My data's in type form. There's a little bit in Shopify. It's all over. I've got a few spreadsheets. I've got a couple of Google Docs. It's a mess. Data warehousing. What is? Can you actually go through that? What does that look like? what platforms at a high level? Like, I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, it's relatively simple with Claude nowadays. Claude Code and Claude is probably the best tool we found of all the LLMs for data, understanding data. So it's simply using Claude, telling him what you have, what the formats are, and asking it to basically help you data warehouse it. So you use something called like Supabase, and you would basically just put the data into a format that was you know, generalized so that any source of data would also be matched up. And then what you can do is you can turn that data into like an interactable chat. So this is something
Is this an artifact? They call them Claude artifacts?
I'm not sure, but what we're doing is all this data that we have, we're then turning it into like a chat interface, so we can say, okay, for this client, tell us what is the biggest pain point that's been mentioned in across data in the past 6 months, and it will tell us based on the data. So it's almost like you're making like a mini chat GPT and making a mini Claude based on, and the only data it's going off is your client's data or the brand's data, customer data. And then from that, we're able to build ICPs on a granular level, build bios of your customer on a granular level, and then you can basically plug that in. So what we will do is, let's say through our data collection phase with the client, we might find that one of the main pain points is, just for example, let's say skincare. A lot of skincare brands, people don't like the fact that it leaves like a greasy kind of residue or something. We can then take that and use N8N or any other agent really. And then we can ask it to scrape Reddit for where people are talking about skincare brands that are doing this and that aren't doing this. What are those brands? What are they saying? What are people saying about that specific pain point? It might find a Reddit thread, and we have certain criteria there. So it needs to have a certain amount of upvotes. It needs to have a certain amount of engagement. It might find that, people are saying that this is the thing that they hate the most about skincare brands, whatever. And we can then take that from that research phase in Reddit. We'll go and actually create concepts based off, we've got sort of creative brief prompts in LLMs that will then take that pain point, take that research, and create actual briefs for static ads, for UGC ads, based on that.
Wow.
And it'll make the full script, it'll do the full design concept, and you can go a step further and it can actually plug straight into Nano Banana and then produce static ad concepts automatically. And then we just come in and edit it, polish it. It's mainly for concepting. We're not taking that and then plugging that straight into an ad account yet. We're having a final editing step.
Yeah, it's allowing the AI is getting your creative strategists and your high level editors and graphic designers this playground of unpolished assets, uncut gems.
Yeah.
It's like, and then your guys aren't having to go in and mine the diamond and wash the diamond and clean the diamond up to then cut it. They're just cutting it into. That makes so much sense. I got a couple of granular questions in there. So one, there's so many questions that my brain's hurting. But the data that's flowing into question one and question two, it sounds like you're going to have a hierarchy of data. You're going to have your overall brand data, which is supporting decision making, right, from everything that you're doing, which is a giant advantage. And then you're going to have the individual brands data. And so in that process you described there, are your agents and workflows kind of checking with the base data across the entire business and then validating against the core data for that specific client? Because they can't be the same, right? They're like hierarchical.
Like,
how does that interact?
So separate agent workflows. We are building towards more of the like leveraging oil data.
Yeah.
But right now it's mainly on like a per customer, like client basis, which is obviously like all a brand needs to focus on right now.
Of course. Yeah. Can I ask one more question? Mm-hmm. Second thing, when that data is coming in to the, you mentioned, Reddit, are you also pulling in things like past performance of the ad account, this angle?
Yeah.
So you've got APIs into Meta and Google and TikTok and organic and that.
Every data source is feeding into like Supabase.
Nice.
We're warehousing the data, and then it's categorized, and then every data source is feeding into like Supabase, and then in a way where we can categorize it, we can specify which data you want to pull from, and then we have a ranking system that can be based on each individual, because every client has different stronger data sources, right? So we can't just say for every client prioritize ad data, because we might have one client that joins where their ad data is bad because they haven't had good ad results.
Well, the media buyer's been optimizing the wrong thing.
Yeah, so we kind of, that bit's still a bit manual and it's selective.
Yeah.
We're kind of working on refining that.
That makes a huge amount of sense. Supabase, the way we're building that out at the moment. It's essentially like an Excel spreadsheet that agents can use, right? Like and so you're asking, the biggest unlock for me so far is you can literally ask Claude to take the raw data and put it into chunks and all of those technical terms that will actually fit into a queryable database inside Supabase that the agents can then connect with. Like Claude itself is turning the raw data into a language that the agents can understand.
Yeah.
I'm trying to understand in my dopey brain.
Yeah, you're basically just asking, you want to ask the LLM or Claude mainly, like, how is the best way for you to do this, to achieve this outcome that we want, we're going like a step further where we've got all of our data from our own content as an agency, and from all of our podcasts, transcribed, and then we've built our own internal content agent that if we say to it, write me a post or write me a script, this is for our personal brand content, it's using the best LinkedIn post you've ever posted as a guide for all of our LinkedIn posts. It's looking at which YouTube video, which podcast video has had the best views and best engagement to then help script another one. So we're even using this as well for our own actual content. And we're basically combining data from every possible source into a central database. Like where every single client call we have, every onboarding call, every sales call has been recorded, put into this. Now we know what are the most common reasons brands are signing up with us right now, and it's got this sort of chat interface that we can ask it these questions. And I think every brand should be doing that in its own right. Even if it's like an e-com brand and they're having like these customer calls, or they've got all this customer service complaints, whatever, reviews, conversations via email.
Brilliant data.
All of it should plug into some central warehousing space, and then from that have a chat feature where you can ask it to create insights and put reports. And when we're setting up a feature where we're going to have things where we have a monthly report that analyzes every client call from that previous month and identifies opportunities for client upsells, client cross-sells, client referrals. Because somebody on a client call might kind of have, just second-hand say that, oh yeah, we're actually like looking for funding at the moment, but the account manager might not notice it.
Yeah.
That's going to feed into our data. Our customer relationship manager is going to see that and be like, okay, let's try and get them a referral. So we're basically trying to track every possible thing to improve our service.
Yeah, and what I'm taking away from this is data is the most important thing. We need as many rich input sources as we can possibly get, but it's not obviously getting to the level you're at going to be pretty unattainable for a lot of brands, etc. But if you're working with something like Claude and you're asking it to guide you along the journey, there's some version of this which is going to give you a massive short-term advantage. The research bot your own data into a chat interface and a ongoing agent scraping Reddit posts with some good prompts that take that into a brief, like that might be a great place
I think
to
the
start.
first place to start would be review mining, we call it. So getting all of your reviews, start with one source of truth, and plug it into, download it in a CSV, perfect the prompt a little bit. So you need to write really good contextual prompts on what this information is, what you want to get out of it, and essentially, the first step could just be like, out of all of these reviews, what is the 10 most common reasons people are giving good reviews and 10 most common reasons people are giving bad reviews.
Yeah.
That's going to give you like 20 ad angles straight away. Yeah. That'll take you like an hour or something, maybe less.
Yeah, wow. That, and then from that basis, you can start to build around that. So that may be in the lead, that may be in the mystery lead magnet as well.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to go and sign up for this thing because who knows what's going to be there. There might be an entire AI data warehousing recursive flow. There could be every SOP in the world in there, or there might be a Loom video from me saying, "Hey, look,
sadly we
couldn't
didn't
get anything." So,
that'd be fun.
check back next time. Can I just pick up where we left off on getting to image concepts, and then I think we can wrap there, and I'd do episodes with you every bloody month if I could. Once you've gotten the nano banana image concept, scripts, angles, that pack, is that the creative strategist is the person that has been managing this process through, working with the Claude conversations, working with the data, getting to those bases? Could you now talk me through, maybe just at a high level, how do the humans take over at this point through your workflow to get it into finished ads and testable ads?
Yeah. So the thing is, like with any AI process, you're just increasing the volume or increasing the speed of a previous human process.
Yeah.
So we just do the same thing as we've always done. Once we've concepted, we're just like editing it to be better. We're comparing it against winning ads. We're making sure, because AI is not going to spit out the exact perfect thing, and we have a creative strategist that's working in 10 accounts at a time or whatever, and it knows that this ad's working for this client at this time. These concepts, maybe they're like 80% there, but maybe we need to just change the copy a little bit. Maybe we need to, the imagery in it wasn't quite right. Maybe we need to edit it. Maybe we need to add in some more brand concepts that isn't like AI regurgitating brand images. It's just like final editing, really. But then we're going a step beyond this, which we're now doing this exact same thing, but for UGC. So, yeah, this is the secret sauce.
Oh, here we go.
We've been working on our own actual UGC production tool, like in-house. So where you said earlier, just use Higgs, whatever it is.
Higgsfield to make your images.
Gen AI. We've just made our own of those, because the thing was, what's the competitive advantage? Like most agencies have, AI-enabled agencies are, and brands are, okay, I've just reduced my UGC cost by 10x from. And I think those UGC tools, you get a video for like $10, $20. We've now got it down to where we're 100x cheaper than that to make our own videos. So we've like 1,000x the cost, reduced the cost of UGC now. We've built our own avatars based off data that we know. So we know which UGC actors are the best for our clients. We've then built our own avatars off the back of
brown hair, middle-aged, this inflection in your voice, blah blah.
Yeah, and now we have like our own proven avatars that are backed by data, and this is the starting point of that. And I think a lot of brands should try to do that as well. I mean, it's taken us like months and months and months to do. But that's going to be like one of the biggest edges I think of the next 12 months. It's like knowing which, because that's just mainly statics. This whole AI agent is mainly statics until now. But if you can find out who's your best performing UGC creators and why, is it because of their demographic, is it because of whatever the script they used, and you can clone them, obviously make them actual a unique person. Don't just make the person look the same, because I think that's illegal. But then you've got 1,000x cheaper UGC that's based on actual conversion data.
And this might sound like a dumb question, but some of your best performing ads right now for big brands are AI UGC people in them.
We haven't actually properly launched that yet.
But have you launched any top performing ads that you've generated a scene or two or other AI people?
Yeah. Space Goods is a good example. We use Sora to make like a really crazy like UGC ad that did really well. I mean, you can see loads of big brands doing that. There was some Super Bowl ads that were like that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. You've got recursive AI technology delivering bloody. You've got recursive loops plugged into AI data warehouses, producing creative at 100th of the cost that you've ever seen before, leveraging multi-source data profiles across multiple brands. But where you could start is by review mining your competitors, calling your bloody customers, putting that into a Claude artifact and a couple of good prompts, and you're all of a sudden potentially quadrupling or pentupling the output of you as a founder or your marketing manager's ability to produce scripts and briefs.
Yep. I think that sums it up. I mean, there's so many more things you can go into, but that's going to give you an edge over 99% of the people in your space if you do that. Most brands are nowhere near where like the top 1% of AI users are.
The gap is huge, eh? Top 1%, way down everyone else to the next 9%. And then there's like 90% of people that aren't even using it. Because sending ChatGPT a script and saying like, write this for me. I mean, it counts, but it also doesn't even count. And I think do you know what? I think that's a really motivating factor for I think people right now, early adopters of AI, they think they're not using it to their full potential because they see the bullshit workflows on Instagram and they're like, oh my God, everyone's doing all of that.
Yeah.
But it's like, nah, you're actually, if you're using ChatGPT every day in a custom GPT, that's good.
Yeah.
You're ahead of most people.
Pretty much everyone, yeah. In the grand scheme of things, pretty much everyone. But yeah, the edge goes quickly. You need to, the edge, like I said, we're trying to be 10 steps ahead. The edge is still a huge edge with using AI tools, AI UGC tools. But within 12 months, every brand's going to be running AI UGC ads. And then you've lost the edge on the cost factor. You've got the edge there is that you save 10x, 10x the cost on UGC creators. But then, that's why we're building our own tool, because then we have even more capital, more money to play with. And if you're a brand and you do something like that, you can 1,000x the output of your ads for the same cost using UGC actors, real people. And that's a huge advantage. It's like make or break in some cases.
And it will become more make or break. Man, that's awesome. That's saucy. A great inspirational view of where you could end up with applied focused effort and a nice little place to start. A mystery lead magnet. How exciting. It's like gambling. Everyone loves that.
We can do spin the wheel.
Yeah, we can do a spin the wheel. All right, bro. We'll let you get to it. We're going to go have a beer now.
Yeah.
See you soon.
Thanks.
Thank you.